I am not a woman of faith. In fact, I think it's healthy to hold a high burden of proof when someone makes claims about spirituality that isn't consistent with your own firsthand experience. But whether you've had these experiences yourself or not, I just want to point out a pattern that even the staunchest atheists amongst us can appreciate and find interesting. Even if you've never tried meditation, walking meditations, yoga, chanting, or breath work, you can probably agree that these are methods that have been used for thousands of years to guide practitioners into a spiritual state. Even if you've left church, you know that when people engage in rituals in spaces that are set apart as sacred, it has a way of inducing feelings of reverence and worship. You don't need to have experimented with fasting to notice that every major world religion has some kind of fasting practice and holidays. And in fact, most also provide guidance about what you should and shouldn't eat and recommend avoiding alcohol. Your experience in the sauna may have stopped at sweaty nakedness, but you can concede that adding spiritual intention and meaning making seems to turn Native American sweat lodges into powerful cathartic practices. Even if you've never braved an ice bath, you can accept that Wim Hof, who has popularized intentional cold exposure, often declares, "I am not your guru," because so many people that practice his methods claim to have had a spiritual awakening. Your experience in the bedroom might be that sex is a loving way to scratch and itch, but hopefully you've at least been lucky enough to experience it as a spiritual connection, if not the self-transcendent energetic orgasms of Tantra and the Kama Sutra. You don't need to put a lot of stock into interpreting your dreams or to have been visited in the night by dead relatives to acknowledge that sleep seems to be a time when a lot of people have had spiritual revelations. You might think the concept of channeling is bullshit, but it is interesting to note that people claiming to do it drink extra water and find hydration especially important when they do. Since I'm not a runner, I will never experience runner's high. But hopefully you've had some experience of a flow state of consciousness because of physical activity, like dancing, riding a bike, or playing a sport. There are some experiences that are so universally human that even if attributing them to God makes you bristle, you might still call them spiritual or good for the soul, like being moved in awe in nature, or being brought to tears by music, acts of kindness, or art. There are elements of human experience that we set apart from the temporal, worldly, and profane to hold up as sacred. All of us enjoy emotional connotations of height, uplift, nobility, reverence, and grandeur, however broad and encompassing the list of activities and situations that induce such a state. The point is that no matter how comprehensive that list is, the things that make it on the list always promote health. For a long time now, I've been hung up on this quote by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He says, "Enlightenment is the normal, natural state of health for the body and mind. It depends on the perfect and harmonious functioning of every part of the body and nervous system." Science has given us a very little to unpack our nature as spiritual creatures or understand the human condition that reminds us this is so. And yet, science has given us a clear blueprint of physiological functioning and the things we need to do to be at our physical best. Science explains what perfect and harmonious functioning of the nervous system looks like. Science illustrates how our biology is designed to function in a natural state of health. If you stick with me, I'll share specifics about the physiological, biochemical, and psychological changes caused by each one of these recommendations. If your atheism has held you back from exploring the full breadth and depth of what being human has to offer, then I hope this at least sparks some curiosity to being open to seeking your own firsthand experiences. If for no other reason, do it for your health.